Please give it up for your own Patricia Smith!
This first poem came from my attempts to get my students, not these particular students, but other students, to write. And you kind of have to turn it into a mathematical exercise. So I asked them what their favorite age was. Not their favorite age. What was their most difficult age? What was your most difficult age?
13.
13. Yesterday. When I asked, the consensus was 13. Think about 13. Middle school, you know, if you're a guy, you know, your voice is cracking, there's the pimple thing going on, there's something going down here, you're not sure what it is. Same thing, girls, you know, there's something going down here, you're not sure what it is. Okay, 13? So when I asked the class, their consensus was 13. So I said, here's what I want you to do. I want you to write a poem that's about being 13, that's 13 stanzas, 13 lines each stanza, 13 syllables each line. And that's your final. Don't you wish you were in my class? All right, so this is, of course I had to do it, so this is like my 13, which was very different from theirs because I was a lot older, so. There's a couple of things in here you won't be able to relate to, but it'll help with you. Okay. It's called 13 Ways of Looking at 13. 1. You touch your forefinger to the fat clots in the blood, then lift its iron stench to look close, searching the globs of black scarlet for the dimming swirl of dead children. You thread one thick pad's cottony tail, then the other through the little steel guides of the belt. You stand and lift the contraption, press your thighs close to adjust the bulk, then bend to pull up coarse white cotton panties bleached blue, and, just to be safe, you pin the bottom of the pad to the shredding crotch of the Carters. Then you spritz the guilty air with the cloying kiss of FDS. It's time to begin the game of justifying ache. Time to name the mystery prickling riding your skin. You're convinced the boys can smell you, and they can. 2. Right now, this Tuesday in July, nothing's headier than the words sheen, manageable, bounce. Squinting into the smeared mirror, you search your head for them. You probe with greased fingers, spreading paths in the chaos, wide enough for the advertised glimmer to escape, but your snarls hold tight to their woven dry confounding. Fevered strands snap under the drag of the wiry brush, and order unfurls, while down the hall Mama rotates the hot comb in a bleary blaze and smacks her joyful gum. Still, TV bellows its promise. You witness the pink snap of the perfect neck, hear the impossible vow. Shampoo with this, sheen, bounce. Her corn silk head is gospel. It's so true. Come here, girl! Even your mother's calling you burns. 3. Miss Stein scribbled a word on the blackboard, said, "Who can pronounce this?" And the word was anemone. And from that moment you first felt the clutter of possible in your mouth, from the time you stumbled through the rhythm and she slow smiled, you suddenly knew you had the right to be explosive, to sling syllables through back doors, to make up your own damn words if you needed them. All that sweet day, anemone tangled in your teeth, spurted sugar tongue, led you to the dictionary where you were assured that it still existed, to the cave of the bathroom where you warbled it in bounce echo, and finally, convinced that you owned that teeny gospel, you wrote it again and again and again and 4. Trying hard to turn hips to slivers, sway to stutter, you walk past the Sinclair station where lanky boys, dust in their hair, dressed in their uniforms of oil and thud, rename you pussy with their eyes. They bring sound, shudder, and blue from their throats just for you. Serve up ancient sonata of skin drum and conch shell. Sing suggesting woos of AM radio. Boom, boom. How you just gonna walk on by like that? And suddenly you know why you are stitched so tight, crammed like a flash bomb into pinafore, obeying your mama's instructions to be a baby as long as you can. Because it's a man's world, and James Brown is gasoline. The other side of slow zippers. He is all of it. The pump, pump. The growled, please, please, please. 5. You try to keep your hands off your face, but the white-capped pimples just might harbor evil. It looks like something cursed is trying to escape your cheeks. Your whole soul could be involved. So you pinch, squeeze, and pop. Let the smelly snow splash the mirror. Slather your fresh-scarred landscape with creams that clog and strangle. At night, you look just like someone obsessed with the moon, its gruff superstitions, and its lies. Your skin is a patchwork of wishing. You scrub and dab and mask and surround. You bombard, spritz and peel, rubbing alcohol, flesh-tone Clearasil that pinkens and cakes while new dirtworms shimmy beneath the pummeled surface of you. Every time you touch your face, you leave a scar. Hey you, every time you touch your face, you leave a scar. 6. You want it all. Chicken wings with bubbled skin fried tight, salmon cakes in syrup, the most improbable parts of swine, oily sardines on saltines splashed in red spark, chitlins nurtured and scraped in Saturday assembly, buttered pie crust stuffed with sweet potatoes and sugar, gray cheese conjured from the heads of hogs. All that Dixie dirt binds, punches your insides flat, reteaches the blind beat of your days. Like mama and her mother before her, you pulse on what is thrown away. Gray hog guts stewed improbable and limp, scrawny chicken necks, merely whispering meat. You will live beyond the naysayers, your rebellious heart constructed of lard and salt, your life labored but long. You are built of what should kill you. 7. Always treat white folks right. Your mama's mantra again and yet again, because they give you things. Like credit, compliments, passing grades, government jobs, direction, extra S&H stamps, produce painted to look fresh, a religion. When the insurance man came, she snapped herself alive, hurriedly rearranged her warm bulk. He was balding badly, thatches of brown on a scabbed globe. Just sign here, he hissed, staring crave into her huge breast, pocketing the death cash, money your mother would pay and never see again. Come here, girl. Say hello to Mr. Fred. She had taught you to bow. She taught him to ignore the gesture, to lock his watering eyes to yours and lick his dry lips with a thick, coated tongue. 8. In the bathroom of the whatnot joint on the way to school, you get rid of the starch and billowed lace, barrettes taming unraveling braids, white knee socks, and sensible hues. From a plastic bag, you take out electric blue eyeshadow, platforms with silver glittered heels, neon fishnets, and a blouse that doesn't so much button as suggest shut. The transformation takes 5 minutes, and you emerge feeling like a budding lady, but looking, in retrospect, like a blind streetwalker bursting from a cocoon. This is what television does. Turns your mother into clueless backdrop, fills your pressed head with the probability of thrum. Your body becomes just not yours anymore. It's a dumb little marquee. 9. With your bedroom door closed, you are skyscraper bouffant, peach foundation, eyelashes like upturned claws. You are exuding ice, pinched all over by earrings. You are way too much woman for this room. The audience has one chest, a single shared chance to gasp. They shudder, heave, waiting for you to open your mouth and break their hearts. Taking the stage, you become an S. Pour 8 into hip swings. Tisk, tisk as the front row collapses. Damn, they want you. You lift the microphone. Something illegal comes out of you, a sound like titties and oil. Mama flings the door open with a church version of your name.
No.
Then you are pimpled, sexless, ashed, and double Dutch knees. You are spindles. You are singing into a hairbrush. 10. This is what everybody else is doing. Skating in soul circles, skinning shins, tongue kissing in the courtroom, skimming alleys for Chicago rats, failing English, math, crushing curfew, lying about yesterday and age, slipping Woolworth's bounty into an inside pocket, sprouting breast. Here's what everybody else is doing. Sampling the hotness of hooch, grinding under blue light, getting turned around in the subway, flinging all those curse words, inhaling a quick supper before supper, fried up in hot Crisco and granulated sugar, sneaking out through open windows when the night goes dark, calling mamas bitches under their breath, staying up till dawn to see what hides. Here is what you are doing. Reading. 11. You are never too old, and you are never too world, too almost grown. You are never correct, no matter how many times you are corrected. It is never too late, never too early to be told to cross the street to where the wild stuff grows, to suffer your mother's instructions. Honey, not that little switch. Get the big one, the one that makes that good whipping sound when the breeze blows. And you are never too fast crossing the boulevard to bring it back while winged sedans carve jazz upon your path. You climb the stairs. She screams, "Get on up here!" The door to where you live with her flies open. She snatches the thorned branch, whips it 100 times across the backs of your legs. You want her to die. Not once. No. Many times. Gently. 12. That boy don't see you. He sees through you, past your tone of undecided earth. You are the exact shade of the failed paper bag test, the Aunt Esther. You are hair forever turning back in the direction from which it came. You are clacking knees and nails bitten to blood. Stumbling forth in black Jesus-prescribed shoes, you have no knowledge of his knowledge of hip sling and thrust. That boy don't see you. So squeeze your eyes shut and imagine your mouth touching the swell of his forearm. Imagine just your name's first syllable in the sugared well of his throat. Dream of all the ways he is not walking past you again, turning his eyes to the place where you are, where you're standing, where you shake, where you pray, where you aren't. 13. You're almost 14. And you think you're ready to push beyond the brutal wisdoms of the 1 and the 3, but some nagging crave in you doesn't want to let go. You suspect that you will never be this unfinished, all Hail Mary and precipice, stuttering sachet, fuses in your swollen chest suddenly lit and spitting, and you'll need to give your hips a name for what they did while you weren't there. You'll miss the pervasive fever that signals blooming, the sore lessons of jump rope in your calves. This is the last year your father is allowed to touch you. Sighing, you push Barbie's perfect body through the thick dust of a top shelf. There her prideful heart thunders. She has heartened you well. She has taught you everything.